Hey friends, welcome to another bow tutorial in real time. Now, I shared this bow. It was part of my neutral fall grapevine wreath that I do have a video on here on my channel. I will link to that in the description box below. But this bow, in the video, I just kind of briefly just hit the highlights of it. But in this video, I will slow it down from start to finish for those that are wishing or wanting to learn how to make bows on these easy bow makers. It is my favorite way to make bows right now, so let me show you how I did it. Guys, my name is Tracy. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Let's go ahead and get started, and let me share how I made this easy bow on the Easy Bow Maker. Here are some of the ribbons that I'm using in this bow. Now, I switched out a few of them, but I'll go through and tell you that once we get to that point. I'm also using my Easy Bow Maker. Now, I do have an affiliate link in the description box if you would like to check that out to see if it's right for you. Now, I know it's upside down, meaning the writing is upside down because I'm right-handed and I like my spool to be on the right-hand side so that I can grab it more quickly. It's just my personal preference. Anyway, so what I'm doing here is I'm taking a 2.5-inch burlap ribbon and I twisted it one time. I pulled the tail out probably about 6 inches. Then now I'm making a 5-inch loop. I'm gathering it in the middle and then I'm going to put it in between those two dowels. And when I get to this point, then I will twist it so that the right side is on top. Even though this is burlap and you don't really see, you can see that the burlap, I guess with the stitching and that kind of thing. So anyway, that's why I twist it. I gather it in the middle again. Then I'm making my loop. And so I try to be as even as I can. I'm doing 5-inch loops. I have one tail going up, one tail going down. I will dovetail them by just pinching it together, taking my scissor and going up, making a V-cut. That really makes the ribbon tails look very nice. Then I'll take that same burlap ribbon, measure out about a 5-inch tail, pinch it in the middle, put it through those dowels. Then I'm going to make another loop. I'm doing some layering. I like the layering of the bows because I do feel that it adds some texture and dimension and just, you know, cuteness to the bow. So I think I'm making like a 4.5 or maybe 5-inch loop, twisting it, gathering it in the middle. And then now I'll twist it, bringing that right side to the top, gathering it in the middle again, putting it through those two dowels. Those dowels act like fingers to kind of help us hold the ribbon. So then I will dovetail that again. And it's okay if I don't have all of my ribbons dovetailed right now. I'll do that at the end. And so I always use wired ribbon because it just, if the bow gets smushed, you can fluff it out much easier. Now this burlap with the white pumpkins came from Craft Outlet. So I'm twisting that in the middle, putting it in between those two dowels. And then I will make it's about like probably a 4.5-inch loop because each loop that I'm layering on top, I want to make just a little bit smaller. So then I gather it and put it in between those dowels. So then I twist it to bring the right side on top. Then I make another 4.5-inch loop, gather that, put it in the middle there, and then I will just bring my tail around and then I will cut that off. I kind of have this tail going up so that it gives just a little bit of character. I'm going to layer another of this white pumpkin. I'm making this tail just probably about 3 inches, just a little bit shorter, putting that there in between those dowels, dovetailing that right now. Then I'll make another loop. I just continue layering, cutting the dovetails as I go along. And I really feel that this just really adds just a lot of depth and dimension to the bows when you layer just the different ribbons. So then I'm just gathering it in the middle, putting it in between the dowels. My loops, again, are probably about 4.5 inches. I'm going to twist it so that it brings the right side of the ribbon to the top, so that when I make my gather or make my loop, that the right side of the ribbon is on top. My next layer, I'm using this burlap window pane ribbon that I luckily get from Hobby Lobby. And so I'm not dovetailing this. I do not dovetail my window pane ribbon because it just frays and it just doesn't look very nice. So I probably measured out probably about 10 inches of that and just kind of stuck it in between the dowels. I'm not making a loop with that. I'm just making just a strip of it. Now this brown and ivory ribbon is from Craft Outlet. Just dovetailing that, and I'll make just a small tail, gathering it in the middle. Then I'll make a loop, probably about a 4-inch loop. I'm going to twist it so that the right side of the ribbon is on top. And if you see me, I only twist one time. If you see me twisting twice or more than that, it's just because the ribbon didn't twist all the way that I want it to. I don't want to confuse anyone by thinking that I twist more than one time. I usually only twist one time so that it brings the right side of the ribbon on top. So then, just since I'm getting more to the top of the bow, I want to add more dimension and add more tails. And I do that by just adding the one loop. And then I twist, I'm going to make another loop, and I just twist it one time just to bring the right side of the ribbon to the top. And then I just make 2 loops, but with 2 separate pieces of ribbon. And then I dovetail those. So then now I have 4 tails with these 2 loops. I'm going back and putting another strip of this burlap window pane ribbon in, and I'm going to do it the opposite way, where the tails would be going the other way. Like underneath it where the layer is, I have it one way, and then this is the next layer. And I apologize. This ribbon right here, I didn't realize that my camera was not filming, but this ragged burlap ribbon came from Hobby Lobby as well. And I just made like some 3-inch loops and just made like probably like I did the brown and the burlap. I just did some loops and just kind of made 4 tails so that they would be going different directions. Okay, so then now I have this 1.5 inch light brown and white ribbon that I got from Craft Outlet, and I'm just making probably a 2-inch loop and just kind of bringing my tails down, and I just kind of fluff it as I go along, just kind of with my fingers, just try to get my loops as even as possible. I'm twisting that ribbon just to make sure that once I make my next loop, that the right side of the ribbon is on top, and then I'll put it there in between the dowels. I will twist it again to bring the right side of the ribbon on top. And this is how I make my bows. And I realize that it does take some practice, but with the Lord's help, He will give us those patience if we really want to learn how to do this. And I owe all of the glory goes to the Lord for all of these gifts, talents, and just the ability to purchase these items that just make our crafting so much, more beautiful, and that we can make His world more beautiful. And I am so honored and blessed that you are here, guys. Leave me a comment. Let me know what else I can help with. I try to explain the best way that I can. I do appreciate so many people saying that they do learn from me, and I do appreciate that. Once we'll get to this point with the bow, I will take 2 pipe cleaners. I will twist them together to make a longer pipe cleaner. And I'm going to go through the top. And then I said, you know what? A sweet viewer left me a comment and said, why don't you try to go from the bottom? So you'll see me here in a moment. Remember that. And said, well, I'm going to give it a try. So I take the pipe cleaner off and I try to slide it underneath, because I forgot to do this at the beginning. Otherwise, I would have done it at the beginning. But the people I watch make bows usually do it like this. So I just follow, I guess. Anyway, so I'm just threading it through the fingers or the dowels, and bringing the pipe cleaner around. And I do appreciate y'all leaving me different tips that works for y'all. But, everybody has their own way of doing things and kind of what helps them. And I do appreciate all of your sweet comments and tips that work for you. So then at this point, because I like to twist it in the back, so I'm trying to hold it in my left hand and try to bring my pipe cleaner around to the back so that I can twist it. And so maybe I'll get a little bit better if I, practice this a little bit more. And so I hold the bow, the layers of the bow in my left hand so that I can twist it around. And then I just lay it there on the table. And that's why I like to use the wired ribbon, because if the bow smushes down or smashes, I can fluff it back up. And, no foul. We just have we can fluff our bow back up like this. Okay, so then now it's time to fluff our bow. And that is a very, very, very important. Now, this right here is a fluff box that I purchased from Pro Bow the Hand. It's not necessary. It's just something that I have because I'm a tool junkie and I do like to have all the gadgets. And so it has an eye hook and it has a small nail on it that you can wrap your wire or your pipe cleaner around. And so this is just something that holds it in place so that you can fluff your bow, make your V-cuts or your dovetails. And you saw right there, I mess up. I totally cut that tail of that ribbon the opposite way. And so I left that in here to share with you guys. I do mess up. I do. I say that, I say this humbly, but that's what I'm saying. I share this to encourage you. No matter how long you've been crafting, how long you've been making bows, how long you've been making a wreath or painting, you're going to make mistakes, and it's just part of life, and you just correct it and move on. So then I'll just continue to fluff my bow, pull out my tails, make my V-cuts. Now again, I do not dovetail the burlap ribbon, the burlap window pane ribbon, because it doesn't need it. I like it straight. And so then to attach the bow to my wreath, I thread it through the stems of the grapevine. I thread it through and then I twist it on the back. I secure it with hot glue. I like to use the Gorilla Glue because I do feel that it does give a better hold. And anyway, I fluff my bow just to make sure everything is really nice and pretty. And that's how this bow was made. So I just love to share different bow tutorials and tips with you. Now you can use this with any other ribbon. This is just a neutral fall farmhouse grapevine wreath that I put this bow on. Again, if you would like to see the wreath, I will have the link for it in the description box below. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching today. We will talk to you all very soon. God bless.